It's full time. Rosenborg 1, Man United 0. First game of the preseason has gone ahead to be lost by the club of Manchester United. Erik ten Hag fielded two different teams at halftime and during the second half. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun and continue to obviously subscribe to this channel. And obviously we are going to be bringing you what this game of football has been like. And don't really feel bothered because Man United is going to obviously be beaten by the side of by the Rosenborg in Norway, because this has been our first game, and for Rosenborg they've been playing some games to obviously prepare for their season. That is it. So you saw to it that most of the players of United looked off, and that shows you why a preseason is really important. The preseason is really important, obviously get these players to the real pace for really commencing what we call the Premier League. You saw to it that we had a team that had Vitek in goal, one of the best performers that I've gone here to see into this game of football. Then we had Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right back, Mare, left back. I think I've gone here to enjoy him, and I don't know why. They've always gone ahead to be showing us Amaz, yet Mare is always there. Mare is really gone ahead to show me that he's really a very good player. Now, when you look at that game of football, Man United came in through and really put in what they had to put in, but they all looked sloppy. They looked unfit, especially much unfit, and I think the manager had all the reasons not to bring Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Amad Diallo, Anthony, and very many others into the mix, because they never traveled with the team. So, in the first 45 minutes, I'm gonna pay a lot of attention to detail to the first 45 minutes, because we had Bissaka, Evans, Mount, Casemiro, Hannibal Mejbri, and Marcus Rashford. Close to 6 players that are going to be part of our season. All else they might leave, and obviously others coming through. But as it stands, they're going to be really important. And I saw to it that the style of play that Erik ten Hag wanted to obviously initiate was build that ball from the back. Vitek was really doing a very good job building from the back, and I went ahead like Fish. Fish came in through and obviously played very well from the back alongside John Evans, and I think the entire backline was really doing well in the first 45 minutes. And what we never had was the levels of fitness that this team was playing at. And I was listening to the commentator, and the commentator was like, that's what you obviously get into a preseason. You need to be playing a team that has already gone ahead obviously play some games, and they are a different level of fitness altogether to test yourself. And I think I've gone ahead to know it today that you have to start off the preseason when you're really playing a team that is really more fit than you, to test yourself and really get to know that you are not really doing great. You understand? I saw Marcus Rashford. He tried obviously run, skip past players and really track back, and the intent was really there. And I think there is fear in the camp of Marcus Rashford that he might not obviously get himself in the mix of really starting for the club of Manchester United if he doesn't do exactly what the manager tells him. For example, if you look at how Garnacho was really playing last season, and how Sancho went ahead and played for Dortmund, if at all they obviously match up their levels and really add in more and more and more and more, Rashford would obviously really be getting a starting position into the team of Manchester United. I saw to it that Marcus Rashford was really running, but again, the selfishness bit of it is still in him. He really thinks of running before looking out for a pass. I think it's always better for him to look out for a pass, like inside the left inside tunnel, and then really make a run, and he gets released, and he obviously faces off a player in a nick of time. But I found it very naive for him each and every time he wanted to run. And you can't tell me that you are thinking of running when you get the ball, and this is the first game you're playing in a space of like, I think is it 6 weeks, because Marcus Rashford last kicked a ball in a competitive game on the 26th of it was the 26th of May. Now, 26th of June, that is 1 month. Add on the 4 days to make it 30. Those are 4 plus 15. Those are how many weeks? Those are like 3 weeks. Now, he has spent close to 7 weeks without playing what we call competitive football. And he wanted to run anyhowly. And I was asking myself, what is Marcus Rashford all about? Go ahead and go for an easy pass. That is it. Because in the modern game, you need to run where there is space. Where there is no space, you have no reason to obviously make those runs, and they are really unnecessary. And that's why I was really so much pissed off with Marcus Rashford, because with his experience, he knows to it that you are playing with a team that has more fit players. You cannot match their pace, and you are trying to obviously go for those runs, and go into those tackles. I think he will even find himself injured for no reason. I think it's better play it easy, and your right hand will come in the right space, and you'll find yourself doing the needful. So for me, Marcus Rashford, oh my God, I believe the reason as to why you're looking in for Xavi Simons, Man United might be planning to obviously offload him, by the way. It might happen, and it might shock everyone. And Casemiro, I looked at him and I was like, not really there. And he really went ahead to survive a very nasty tackle that saw his foot planted on the ground. And this player went ahead, obviously put in a very high boot tackle. And Casemiro was like, oh, you want to obviously take off my leg. And the good thing is that he played only 45 minutes as Casemiro. But for me, I'm not impressed. I believe that he cannot really live up to the pace of Premier League teams right now, because teams are really having a very high intensity, and every day that passes by, teams continue to obviously put in a very huge shift every other day that really passes by. And I don't really feel that he's the right guy to obviously come in through and play into that midfield. And you cannot have a player who earns £350,000 a week on your bench, meaning that you have to dislodge him and take him elsewhere, though he wants to stay at Manchester United and prove Erik ten Hag right and prove Erik ten Hag wrong and Ineos that he still has the guts to play in the Premier League. 32 years of age, but I wait to see how he's going to feature against Rangers, because Rangers is going to give us a more serious test. And I think we might welcome back other players when we're playing Rangers: Sancho, Maguire, Lindelof, Anthony, and Amad Diallo. I think we'll be looking a more strong team than we've gone ahead to look today. And even when we'll be making changes, we will see other players play 60 minutes and others play 70, depending on how the fitness levels will be at. Because most players played 45 minutes, apart from the goalkeeper Vitek, but the rest played 45 minutes, meaning that they've gone ahead to get 45 minutes into their tank. And others in the next game that is going to be played on Saturday, Man United will obviously see their players play some huge number of minutes, 60, 70, and you never know. We might find one who will play 90 minutes, like Vitek is going to hit to do this time round. The other player, Hanbo Mebri. One thing I like about Hanbo Mebri is every time he's on the field of play, he makes those runs. And he is a high intensity player, and he knows the game. He never really down tools. That is it. I love him about it. And you saw to it that entire team lacked chemistry, because when was the last time this team played together? Like, you saw these people partner together. When you look at the central defense, Evans has played with Fish for the very first time. Mount and Casemiro, did we see them play together in that midfield? But the chemistry hadn't gone ahead to build up. Mebri obviously has played with Marcus Rashford, but he has never played with Mount and Casemiro, meaning that there is some chemistry that needs to develop into these players, and you obviously see them play better. So I don't want to see a United fan come out and say, I'm pissed about how we've gone ahead obviously play today because of what we went ahead to do. No way. Don't get pissed, but just find yourself in a proper position of really knowing that this is a pre-season and things are still coming in through. I think the game of Rangers will obviously give us a bigger test, but I believe when you're playing against Arsenal in America, Real Betis and Liverpool, those 3 games are really going to be important, because I believe most players will be back and will be having at least a good look at what the team is going to be like. And the team of Manchester United will be always going to have to make a decision on who to bring in as a CDM, whether it will be Amrabat or who, but a decision will be made very, very soon. Now, United went ahead to make very many changes, but they brought in 11 players, and I went ahead, obviously, fall in love with Amaz. He's one of those left backs that was going to have to sign his professional contract, I think, towards the end of last season. And you saw how risky the guy is. He was playing as a left back, but you saw how he risks himself to go in front, and he was really great. Koela was another one in the midfield that we went ahead to love. I know now why Ten Hag was like talking to him like he talked to Garnacho and Kobe Mainoo after winning the Carabao Cup. Koela is really going to get some good minutes with the club of Manchester United. And the plan of Manchester United, when they're flying to the United States of America, they don't want to go with very many academy players because they don't want to obviously increase the expense. Now, all what they will do, they'll get in some special players to go with. And I believe they'll have Koela into that team. Whitley, I know will be in the team. So when you look at Whitley today, he was fed in, I think, only once, and he had a shot at goal in the first half, and he was released, I think, by Mason Mount. And that shows you that as a team of Manchester United, we are lacking creativity. Like a proper build-up, and obviously see that the entire team is really looking out for that number 9. And I think that is what Erik Ten Hag, Renhake, and Ruud van Nistelrooy are going to be working at in the preseason, because United can do the build-up from the back. That is it, especially if at all Lisandro Martinez comes back, Andre Onana, Kobe Mainoo. We can build from the back through the central axis, but the players that are supposed to feed our number 9 are really very, very, very selfish, and they are very selfish in nature, and I don't really feel like a lot will obviously come on. So I believe not very many youngsters will go to the US because United won't want to take very many people, but I know Koela, Whitley will obviously make it to that squad that will travel that side. Let's go into what we call the match stats, but we've gone ahead obviously concede in the 90th plus 3rd minute. We are gonna hit obviously fight to keep a clean sheet, but things never really went on as planned. Now, these were our stats for this game. 22 shots by Rosenborg. United had 5. 7 shots on target by Rosenborg. United had 2. 57% ball possession by Rosenborg. Manchester United had 43% ball possession. 548 passes completed by Rosenborg. United completed 443 passes. 88% passing accuracy. Then United had 85% passing accuracy. 15 fouls committed by Rosenborg, and United had 4 fouls. 2 yellow cards to Rosenborg. United had 0. No red cards issued to either sides. 5 offsides to the side of Rosenborg, and 1 offside to the side of Man United. 8 corners, oh my god, to the side of Rosenborg, and 1 corner to the side of Manchester United. And that's how it happened at the Likidel Stadion in Norway. Now, I know Erik Ten Hag is really going to make some huge call for these players to rest, especially those that took part into the game of football today. I know they're going to rest for tomorrow, and I think they'll resume training on Wednesday as they prepare to play against Rangers on Saturday, the 20th. Now, let's go to the player ratings, because we don't have a lot of things to talk about. You cannot judge these players. You just have to need them to be there. Vitek, for me, 9 out of 10. He kept us in the game almost 4 times, like 2-3 keeper to beat, shots on target, and he really did the needful as Vitek. The right back was Aaron Bissaka, 6 out of 10. Mare, 7 out of 10. I really fell in love with him, that left back. He showed us his skill set, and it was like, oh, he's really a very good player in there. Wolfish, 7 out of 10. Evans, 7 out of 10. Casemiro, 6.5 out of 10. Mount, 6.5 out of 10. Ethan Williams, 7 out of 10. Rashford, 6 out of 10. And Ethan Whitley takes a 7 out of 10. He makes good runs, and I think he's really a fighter. And at the age of 18, he really has a lot to have on his side. Adepare Opeyemi, we don't need Marcus Rashford. That's what I think. The guy is really doing bad. But, you know, he might obviously come in through at the beginning of the season and really hits the season running and is like, I'm going to silence you. John Mukama, thanks, brother. I think Casemiro should go. Obviously, Casemiro should go, and Man United should get in better and better players that can come in and really take us to where we deserve to be. Because you cannot tell me that you are here to obviously have Casemiro as your CDM at Manchester United. Unless otherwise, he pulls out moments of magic and proves everyone there. But I believe he should really go. The same applies to Adepare Opeyemi. He's calling for Casemiro's departure. Then Okori, Isaac, thank you, but where is Malacia? Malacia is back. He's back. And he was training alone for the entirety of last week, right? And now, this week, he's also training at Carrington. And we are going to see when he's really going to be fit to play into the pre-season for the club of Manchester United. Because the likes of Luke Shaw might return late, and Luke Shaw will return towards the Community Shield game. And if I told him Tyrone Malacia, I'll be working hard to obviously get back into the mix to see to it that by the time we go to the US, at least I can come in and read the future for like 10, 20, 30 minutes and then get ready for the game of Man City, where he'll be hugely needed in the mix for him to really show us what he has got. Kagesi John, no problem. It's for 8-10. How do you give me Casemiro to play with Mount in the midfield? All right, for me, prime Casemiro would have gone ahead to play very well with Mount in the midfield, because would have gone ahead obviously play a very huge role in covering huge distance and obviously shielding that back four. But this Casemiro, I tell you, he can't do the job. He can't do the job, and I tell you, he should leave the club of Manchester United. That is it. Kariango Paul, good evening, Mr. Aradi. Thanks for the updates. Thank you very much for watching in Kariango. Happy Chris. Hey Aradi, it's been a while. I think it's high time for Casemiro to leave the club, and for Rashford, he'll improve his game this season. I'm very optimistic. Let's wait and see, but he hasn't gone ahead to have competition at Manchester United like he's gonna be having this season, because Sancho, if Sancho stays at the club of Manchester United, if Garnacho is here, of which Garnacho is gonna stay, Rashford is gonna have what we call a very huge pressure. That is it, onto him, and he won't be like, I'm really into my own world, and we never know, that might obviously spark his performances off to being one of the best players in the world, you know. But I don't see that happening. You get? I would really want to see Marcus Rashford also leave the club, but he's really having a very huge problem at the club of Manchester United. Bijiro Prita, I like Vitek, Bennett, and Koila. Yeah, those three have been really very important. Vitek put in wonderful saves that everyone was like, oh, this guy is really the big deal, right? Then Koila, he really did a very good job in that midfield, press resistant, and he saw to it that there is a touch of brilliancy that is adding to the team of Manchester United, and Erik ten Hag is also interested in having a player. Burnett in the central defense, especially, who came in through in the second half, he really looked great, and I see a lot of future for Man United being bright right about now. Surely Rashford is totally off. Yeah, he's totally off, but you never know what he's going to be doing in the next games. He might really be one of the best that the world is going to be seeing. Very, 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 very good. So, my man of the match is Vitek. I tell you, he's Vitek. He takes my man of the match. And my worst player on the pitch for me, who has he been? I'm going to go with Rashford. That is it. It's not that I hate him, but he needs to up his game and he needs to be doing the needful. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Through and David is my name. I've gone ahead to obviously bring you this brief match reaction of Rosenborg 1, United 0, and hope you guys have gone ahead to enjoy it. And we're here to sign out and obviously keep the world going and moving. So for everyone who's been part of this live session, thank you. It has been a short one, but you've been really watching it hugely, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month. So thank you. Vitek is my man of the match. Tell me who your man of the match has gonna hit to be into this first preseason game. Saturday we are gonna be taking on Rangers. Bye.